Hi, I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. Try as you may, you don't always avoid swarms. We'll always get some swarms occasionally. And when you're splitting up hives and have a lot of things going on, many hives, you usually end up with one or two that will swarm. And today, we do have a swarm. And today is going to be Dave's first swarm capture. So, let's go out there and let's do it. We've got a little swarm conveniently located in a low bush here. And you see they can be pretty inconspicuous until you get up close and have a look. But let's have a look and see what's going on here. I saw some doing little dances before, telling the others of locations that they came across. So for example, so you don't want to disturb it too much, but here's one doing a little dance right now, and she is saying go about 90 degrees to the right of the sun, and that little waggle is lasting about a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds. So it's roughly, they found a place about a mile away to the right hand side, so that'd be sun 90 degrees, about a mile in that direction. Let's have a look and see if any others are dancing. There's another one down here. Let's see, quite a few dances. There's one that's going, well, lose track of them after a while, there's so many moving around. There's several going to the right down here. And the more you have going in the same direction, the sooner they're about to decide to move in that direction. Let's see if we can see the others. Yeah, see they're dancing to the right, but this is a bit closer. Anyway, all fascinating stuff that the swarm does. So, Dave, what we're going to do is open up the box entirely up and spread it out directly under the swarm. And the beauty of this type of box is that the lid can be used like a funnel. And what you want to do is I pull it up just a little bit further out and a bit to the left.
This?
Yeah, a little bit that way. Because remember that any bees that fall on here can go in there. So put that seam right in the middle. Okay. And then literally all you're going to need to do is vigorously shake that branch so that they drop in there. So when you're ready,
okay,
don't pull it so far that you flick them down on your feet and things, but give it a nice little shake, and okay, and keep going. Keep going. Preferably don't break the branches off the tree. That's Amy's trick. See how the bees are going in there very nicely? Okay, now just put the lid over. Just enough to put the lid over. And just gently down. Doesn't have to go all the way over, just most of the way down, that's it. And then, see these bees down here? They're going to start, bees are going to start to walk right into the box. Some are going to go back up into the tree. But what we're going to have is the ones that have landed in the grass over here, they're going to start to smell the scent of the bees in there, and they're going to start walking right in.
Okay.
Most of them went right in, whereas that was usually makes for a much more successful capture. Now, we do have some back up here, and they will reform for a bit, and we'll come back and shake it again in about 5 minutes, and they will be good to go. But you see this scenting going on here, and bees are trying to get in the top there, so they'll go in the top as well as the entrance when these ones realize that's where everyone else is going. In fact, if you give the tree another shake and they fall down here,
flip it open?
Leave that, that's fine. Just shake them out of the tree. From low down is probably a good thing. Just take that and just give it a really good shake. Okay, now let's get them out of the tree. But they're going to settle more and more where the scent is. can see how they're accumulating on the box here. That's part of the reason why we're leaving the box lid slightly ajar. And see how these here are sticking their butts in the air, start releasing scent, and saying other bees, oh, come here, this is where we are. And several of them doing it. And more they will go into the box itself.
We didn't see the queen yet.
Don't have to. Okay. If you've shaken 99.9% of the bees into the box, he's in there.
Okay.
And what we should do, ideally what you'd do is you'd wait until the evening and you come back, and now all the field bees that are out looking at all those different locations will come back. And we're here for a while, so we'll just pick this up and take it with us when we go. Congratulations.
Great.
In the meantime, we're splitting up some of these groups of bees. We have some of these Italian nucs, which are full of bees, are going to be made into more Italian Saskatraz nucs. So we're going into these small Italian hives, leaving the queen behind, because we don't have an immediate need for all these Italians yet. They've got many fewer orders for Italians. So right now the Italians are producing me brood. And so what I'm doing is taking brood out, putting them over here, and these are all going to get a Saskatraz queen. And we're going to line it up and split these boxes down more, because you don't have to have a big hive to split. You can split even small ones. So why don't we just set it up a little bit, carry on. See, these nucs are actually so strong that without doing something about it, they will swarm on their own right. So they have to be thinned down, and because I'm still looking for brood, I'm not just... One way of avoiding all the maintenance of a 5-frame nuc is you can put 2 nucs together, put a queen excluder over it, and have them put them into honey production right away. But I still need nucs, and I need more to make more Saskatraz nucs, so I'm not going to just turn this to honey production. I'm going to split it right down, make a Saskatraz nuc, and let the small Italian Carniolan mix queen nuc build up again. Now, probably would be a good idea to blow a bit of smoke on this. Want to grab the smoker there, please? Nice frame here containing lots of resources, but lots of eggs, which is good. Sort of frame we could find the queen on. So we want to first of all find the queen. Finding queens in nucs is good practice, because you find a lot more queens going through a 5-frame colony than you do going through 10 and 20-frame colonies. Don't see the queen yet. And because these are a mix of Italian and Carniolans, the queen can be anything from bright orange to black. And we've seen both. Beautiful frames of brood. We are at the end of May, so the honey flow hasn't quite got into gear yet. So what I'm wanting to do is make up all the Saskatraz nucs while I can, while I've got all this brood. These Italians I will grow some of them on for honey production. I will sell some of them, and some I will just grow as nukes for over the summertime and try and overwinter them as small nukes. So I'm calling them Italians. So the Italian nukes that I leave behind will be very small, maybe only one frame of brood, one frame of resources, and several foundations, because I want to not have to come back to these bees for a few weeks so that they don't become overcrowded, because I've got to go through a lot of yards, and I want to in effect put them on ice for a little while they're busy building back up again. So I'm going to split the dickens out of them, and when I come back, when I have time to come back to them, then they might be ready to put 2 nukes side by side and put a honey super over them. And by that time the honey flow will be in full gear. So by that time the queen has done what she can. So also keep an eye on the lid here and stuff, because it could be that there's so many bees there, it could be that the queen is in those. It's a good opportunity to trim away things in the way, like these ears of comb. There's the queen.
Yep.
Bright orange Italian genetics in there. Their Italian queen there. So she's going back in here. We've got about a quarter of a frame of brood there, lots of resources. So that's one. We've got a nice frame of brood right next to her. That's 2. So these 2 frames of brood, look at that. We're going to go into our new nuke. Give you that. Nice frame of resources with eggs on and stuff. That can go there. And this, we'll recenter these. That's it for that one. Actually, just before you do, I'll tip these bees in there, because we've got more than enough bees are going to fly back. Because these nukes are going to be made in the same yard, a lot of the bees are in this box are going to fly back here, back to the mothership, as it were. And so I don't have to worry that I'm underpopulating this hive, even with only 2 frames, because I know about a frame's worth of bees is going to come back in here. And they're going to be the older field bees that are going to move into this hive. Thank you. The older field bees are the ones that are least likely to accept a new queen. So by doing it in the same yard, I radically improve the probability that the new queen will be accepted in those other nukes, because the old bees fly back home. And I've got all these nukes, by the end of the day, all these nukes next to me are going to have just young bees in them. So this will be a nice Italian nuke in about 3 to 4 weeks. That'll be a nice Saskatraz nuke in about 2 to 3 weeks. A bit more comb to melt down. And we move on. Let's check the queen. Right up to this outside edge to do this time. That full brood. If we don't get these things thinned down, they will swarm, which is possibly where this swarm we just captured came from, one of these that we didn't get thinned down fast enough. So that's why we're going through. Serves multiple purposes. Frame of eggs. queen. Yeah. Another big orange queen there. Lovely. I'll hold her just for a second. Oh, I'll get it. Okay, just hold her over there. Over here for a second. Good frame of brood she's on. I want always one frame of cat brood and some good resources. About half a frame of brood there. So we're going to leave this behind with her. In the meantime, we're going to take, we can actually get 3 frames of brood out of this one. But while I'm making nukes, I only need 2 frames of brood. More than enough bees. Let's get another nuke box. Put these in. Well, that's mostly eggs anyway. So actually, I will put this in here anyhow. It'll just be one that grows up fast. This can go here. Queen is still in good nick there. And we are ready to put foundation in here. There's good load of resources in here. And we're actually going to go through all of these and put a pollen patty on them as well. Just to make sure there's lots of nutrition. Okay.
What do you want in this?
I think 1 foundation, 1 honey. On that one. Now, let's go back and have a look at that swarm when we've done this, because a lot of those bees have gone back up in the tree. Sometimes they need shaking more than once. So that's good to go. I can see a lot of bees back in that bush. Okay, let's go and finish your swarm shaking. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 efforts, even though they're as close as that, and we strip just about every bee. Especially when the swarm has been there a while and they've really orientated themselves. So, it looks like most of them are back up there, if not all of them. Let's see. They just entirely did. Look at that. What do you know? So, they're all back up there. So let's do it again. Few missed that time. Good shake, good shake. Okay, we'll leave the lid open this time. And we'll see if more of them don't crawl in better that way. The more you experiment with this, the more success you get. Sometimes you just see the queen walking right up along with the bees. Right now these ones are moving to higher ground, but soon they just march in. They turn around and realize the scent is going in the other direction. Give it another shake before we leave it. One second, I'm going to just pull the box back a little further. There we go. Good. We shall see shortly. Okay. Well, we've got 99% of the bees here into the box. So why don't we pick it up and take it away, Dave? And in the meantime, we have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 Saskatchewan Nucs from about 22 others. So we split them more or less in half. Let's call it a day. Thank you for helping on a Sunday.
You bet.
I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. I'll see you next time.